The United States military is ready to strike Iran. This isn't speculation. This is happening right now. President Trump has 10 days to decide. Either Iran makes a deal or America goes to war. The Pentagon has positioned 2 aircraft carrier strike groups in the region. Fighter jets are being repositioned. Submarines are moving into attack positions. Military personnel are being evacuated from the Middle East. Trump's words are clear. We're either going to get a deal or it's going to be unfortunate for them. The clock is ticking. And what happens in the next 10 days could reshape the entire Middle East. At this exact moment, the USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group is positioned in the Arabian Sea. 90 aircraft, multiple guided missile destroyers loaded with Tomahawk cruise missiles. The USS Gerald Ford, America's newest supercarrier, is racing toward the region from West Africa. When it arrives, the United States will have the largest concentration of military power in the Middle East since the Iraq invasion. Over the past 3 days, the Pentagon has been quietly moving personnel out of the region. They're relocating them to Europe and back to the United States. This is what happens before a major military operation. Get non-essential people out of the blast radius. Trump can order strikes as soon as this weekend. The military is ready. Iran isn't sitting still. Satellite images show them frantically fortifying nuclear sites. At a facility called Parchin, 30 kilometers from Tehran, Iran has built a massive concrete shield over a new building and buried it under tons of soil. Analysts say they're creating what they call a concrete sarcophagus to protect against American bunker buster bombs. At the Isfahan nuclear complex, Iran has completely buried 3 tunnel entrances with soil. These tunnels store enriched uranium. By burying the entrances, Iran makes it harder for American special forces to raid the site and harder for missiles to penetrate. At another site near Natanz, Iran is hardening tunnel entrances with concrete reinforcements. One analyst said it bluntly. Stalling the negotiations has its benefits. Iran has been busy burying facilities. More soil is available and the facility may soon become a fully unrecognizable bunker. Iran is also conducting military exercises. The Revolutionary Guard just finished war games in the Strait of Hormuz, preparing for potential security and military threats. Iran and Russia announced joint naval drills in the Sea of Oman. A Russian warship is operating alongside Iranian vessels right now. Trump is being presented with multiple options. Option 1. Limited strikes. Hit specific nuclear facilities, missile sites, Revolutionary Guard bases. Quick, surgical, done. The goal would be setting back Iran's programs while avoiding full-scale war. Option 2. Sustained campaign. Weeks of continuous operations targeting Iran's entire military infrastructure. The June strikes lasted hours. Option 3. Regime change. Go after Iranian leadership directly. Target the supreme leader, top commanders, government officials. Try to topple the regime entirely. Trump is going back and forth. One meeting he's ready to strike. The next meeting he's cautious. He's polling advisors constantly. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu flew to Washington last week with an urgent message. Iran has never been weaker. The regime is collapsing from protests. The economy is in free fall. This is the moment to strike. Senator Lindsey Graham is pushing hard for military action. He said publicly, "When you go, I want to go big. This is literally the best chance." But Trump promised voters he wouldn't start new wars. He's worried about getting bogged down in another Middle East conflict. Just 2 days ago, American and Iranian negotiators sat across from each other in Geneva, Switzerland, for 3.5 hours. They didn't speak directly. They passed notes through mediators. Iran's foreign minister says they made good progress and agreed on guiding principles. The White House says they're still very far apart on some issues. The fundamental gap is this. America wants Iran to completely stop enriching uranium. Zero enrichment. Iran says enrichment is their sovereign right and they won't give it up. Trump wants Iran to abandon ballistic missiles, stop supporting militant groups across the Middle East, and stop brutally crushing protests. Iran refuses to discuss anything beyond the nuclear program. Iran is supposed to submit detailed proposals in the next couple of weeks. But there's no indication they'll meet Trump's demands. Iran has made its position crystal clear. If America strikes, Iran strikes back immediately. The Revolutionary Guard warned that any attack on Iranian territory triggers retaliation against every U.S. military base in the region. That means bases in Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Jordan, and Turkey. Iran sent a letter to the United Nations this week stating, "All bases, facilities, and assets of the hostile force in the region would constitute legitimate targets. The United States would bear full and direct responsibility for any unpredictable and uncontrolled consequences." Iran's supreme leader posted an AI-generated image on social media showing the USS Gerald Ford sitting at the bottom of the ocean, destroyed and sunk. His message, "More dangerous than that warship is the weapon that can send that warship to the bottom of the sea." Iran has thousands of ballistic missiles and explosive drones hidden in underground bunkers and mountain caves. Many are designed to survive a first strike and come out firing afterward. Here's what keeps global markets terrified: the Strait of Hormuz. This narrow waterway between Iran and Oman is only 21 miles wide, and 20% of the world's natural gas and oil flows through it every single day. 21 million barrels of oil. If Iran closes the Strait of Hormuz, the global economy crashes overnight. Oil prices skyrocket. Energy costs explode. Everything becomes dramatically more expensive instantly. Iran could sink ships in the shipping channel, deliberately blocking it. They could deploy naval mines across the strait. They could launch anti-ship missiles from shore batteries. This is Iran's economic nuclear weapon, and they've threatened to use it. Trump says he'll decide within 10 to 15 days, maximum, whether to continue diplomacy or order strikes. Some analysts think if strikes are coming, they happen after the Winter Olympics end this Sunday, but before Secretary of State Rubio meets Netanyahu in Israel on February 28th. That's a window of about 8 days. Others think Trump waits until early March, giving Iran one final chance. But calendar events matter. The Winter Olympics conclude Sunday. Trump delivers his State of the Union address Tuesday. Ramadan just began Wednesday. Attacking during the Muslim holy month would inflame the entire Islamic world. U.S. officials differ on timing. One Trump advisor said there's a 90% chance we see kinetic action in the next few weeks. Another said Trump is getting fed up with negotiations going nowhere. But troops in the region haven't received final target lists yet, which means Trump hasn't pulled the trigger on a specific operation. Everything is ready. The forces are positioned. The weapons are loaded. The targets are identified. Now it's just waiting for the order. What happens if strikes begin? If the operation starts, it likely begins at night. B-2 stealth bombers take off from the United States. Tomahawk cruise missiles launch from destroyers. F-35 stealth fighters penetrate Iranian airspace to take out air defense systems first. Then, the heavy bombers arrive with massive bunker-buster bombs designed to penetrate deep underground. They target Iran's hardened nuclear facilities buried under concrete and soil. Simultaneously, strikes hit missile production facilities, ballistic missile launchers, Revolutionary Guard bases, drone factories, naval facilities. Iran's response comes within hours. Ballistic missiles launch toward U.S. bases across the Gulf. Drones swarm American warships. Iranian forces attempt to close the Strait of Hormuz. American Patriot missile batteries intercept some Iranian missiles. But not all. Some get through. Americans are killed or wounded. Israel goes on full alert, waiting to see if Iranian missiles start falling on Tel Aviv. Oil prices spike. Markets plunge. World leaders scramble to contain the crisis. And the question becomes, does it stay contained or does it spiral into full regional war? We are living through history. The decisions being made right now in Washington and Tehran will echo for decades. American aircraft carriers are steaming toward Iranian waters. Iran is burying nuclear facilities under concrete and soil. Russia is conducting naval drills with Iran in the Gulf of Oman. Trump has set his deadline, 10 to 15 days maximum. Either diplomacy succeeds against all odds, or the largest American military operation in the Middle East in over 20 years begins. The world is watching. The forces are in position. The threats have been made. And very soon, we'll know which path was chosen.